Hello, dear colleagues, dear Metro heroes. In a village, people know each other and everyone works together. According to this idea, our colleagues of Metro Italy have built its own village for their employees. On the first floor of the Metro store San Donato in Milan, they created an inspiring environment for their new ways of working. Today we take you with us and guide you through the Metro village of our colleagues in Italy in this episode of More Podcasts. Therefore, a warm welcome to all of you. My name is Bernd Rode from Internal Communications at Metro AG. My guest today is Samantha Noni, Head of People Experience and Development at Metro Italy. Hi and buongiorno, Samantha.
Hi, hello everybody, and thank you, Bernd, for welcoming this podcast.
Samantha, thank you for taking the time for us. You're one of the leaders behind the Metro Village project at Metro Italy. We are connected via MS Teams. Best regards from cold Düsseldorf to hopefully somewhat warmer Milan. Autumn has dropped the temperatures here in Germany, but at the same time, the corona figures has increased dramatically. What is the current situation in Italy, Samantha? Are the numbers of corona infections on the rise in your country as well?
They are still under control, but unfortunately there are some increasing. The situation, I have to say, is quite good still because the 85% of people has completed the first 2 cycles of vaccination, and the recall of the third dose has started for population over 18. So in the last week, infection increased as in all over the world, but hopefully having this large number of people vaccinated, the number of people in intensive care is increasing, but still under control.
You told it, you are already very far advanced in terms of vaccinations in the population. What does this mean for the general work situation?
Hopefully, due to the vaccination for the general work, it means that we are still working from the office for the company who decided to come back, and especially the HoReCa market is open, and I have to say that the government is disposing new restriction for non-vaccinated people in order to leave open the maximum number of own businesses.
What is the ratio between home and office workers?
I have no number because the majority of a company has decided to come back to offices. Many of them have took the advantages to experiment and to introduce an hybrid model, so a model working from home and from office. I have to say that we are still in the good situation that normality is still real, and people are going to office, are going to restaurant, are going to cinema, and so on.
And especially for the office work, you have created an interesting working environment at the headquarters of Metro Italy. How this is designed, what goals are you aiming for, and how your collaboration has changed as a result, that's what we are talking about today. And of course, we also want to know something about your personal new way of working, Samantha. As always, we have our little questionnaire, try new things, and we are all looking forward to your sound souvenir at the end of the podcast episode. But first, we would like to know more about the Metro Village that you have built on the first floor of the Metro store San Donato in Milan. Samantha, please give us a brief overview first. How would you describe the Metro Village in a few words?
I would describe the Metro Village as a very beautiful space of collaboration, socialization, sharing of experience. Really a space to work together, to stimulate creativity with the contamination of idea, of experience coming from different teams. And the space was really designed specifically in different areas to enable the different moment and the different purpose that are happening in a work day. For example, there are the classical space with a modern desk and many meeting room equipped with different stuff according to the possible use. But then there is really many spaces, many informal spaces in which we can work, we can stay together, we can brainstorm. And so I will describe really a beautiful space of collaboration, of generation of new idea.
Okay, that sounds very exciting. But let's look back at the beginning of the whole story. When did you start the project, and what was your starting point and your motivation for the project at that time?
The project started actually 2 years ago. It was before my arriving in Metro. So it started basically before the pandemic period. And the aim was to create the headquarter offices close to the business, having all people in the same floor. And that's one of the things that make this space very beautiful. There was an opportunity. There was an opportunity of a space over San Donato store due to optimization of assortment with 100% focus on Horeca products. And so Metro took this opportunity and decided to build up this sustainable project, moving the headquarters on the top of the store.
Mm-hmm. I know from my own experience such a reconstruction project that create a completely new working situation mean a big change for everyone, and often there are conflicting discussions and sometimes also resistance in this process. How did your colleagues react when you presented the project to them for the first time?
Actually, there was a lot of curiosity, of course, and there were many people enthusiastic, and there were also people afraid of losing their habits consolidated in many years. So I would say there was a lot of rumors, a lot of questions, also very detailed, because there was a change that was happening in 1 year, basically.
Mm. Were there different feedbacks from employees on one side and the managers from the other?
But I would say there was a lot of so challenging questions, especially linked to the habits. I make an example. I'm used to work and to negotiate with my partner in my office close. How can I do in an open space? Because we are talking about an open space with many meeting rooms. So the reaction was really driven by how can I solve a possible issue that I can figure out according to my actual experience. We try to onboard first the manager, but at the same time also employees. So we try really to make this change with all the population. And I would say that the reaction were quite common between manager and the employee. It was really related to the change of habits.
Yeah. And how do you solve these problems?
We listen a lot. We try to listen a lot. For example, we engage a group of ambassadors, of Metro Village ambassadors that were selected, identified in each function. And the purpose of this group of ambassadors was really to stay constantly in contact with all the population in all the function. And they were reporting feedback, issue, question, and they were also sharing progresses and so on. And then starting before the entrance, we enter in the new offices in July. We regularly make some meeting with all the population to update, to inform, and to share which were the new normality that were coming.
Okay, so communication is key.
Absolutely.
In the course of the corona crisis and the lockdown situation, there have been many changes in the way of working and the collaboration within the companies in general, and some of them are quite dramatic. What influence does these changes and maybe also the findings of the new ways of working projects have on the implementation of the Metro Village?
I have to say that probably the pandemic period help and prepare a little bit because people were used during COVID period to work remotely from home. And for security reason, the population was divided in two groups to keep the distance and to guarantee the business continuity. So we started already during coronavirus period to work in an hybrid model, partially in the office and partially at home. And this, I would say, help people to get used to the new model of working remotely, and also to learn how to still be efficiently in this hybrid way of working with these 2 days of working in the office. The good things, I think, that when we come back at the end to meet physically, and we come back in this wonderful space, we really appreciate probably much more the social contact with the people. And so there was a lot of enthusiasm on this. And for example, if before we needed to ask something to people, we were used to set up a short teams. Now we are going directly to the colleague, and we talk and we take a coffee together. So basically, this period which we were obliged to work remotely help and prepare a little bit the entrance in these new offices and the hybrid model that the company has decided to implement.
At least in this regard, the corona pandemic helped a little bit support the changes of working. And not only the work situation of the companies, but also the individual work situation of each and every one of us has changed extremely in the past months. I don't know anyone who says, I work the same today as I did before Corona. And this is why we also want to know something about your personal new way of working, Samantha, and how you personally dealt with your new work situation. And we do that in every episode of More Podcast with a little questionnaire called Try New Things. Ready, Samantha?
Yes.
Okay. So despite your newly created office situation with the Metro Village, you've spent a lot of time in the home office over the past months, as we all have. What have you tried new since you started working from home?
I would say I tried new to work, also moving a little bit, so standing up. When I was, thanks to this nice headset or to the technology, that something I was not used to do in the office, just to stand up in a meeting and to walk around. So this I do, and I think that it's good for health. I try to optimize actually the time for working and the time for my private life. I have 3 kids, so it's important, the optimization of time.
How old are they?
7, 8, and 10 years old.
Oh, okay. Like me. My kids are 6 and 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, then I know these probably working at home means always also, you really have to take care for the kids and also, of course, have to do your work. What are your personal learnings from your individual new way of working? What have you learned about yourself?
I learn about myself the resilience, the fact that there is an end also of difficult situation, and this is in general, and the fact that a good organization and a good boundary between work, between personal life, and the boundary also to all people around me, not only in work, but I'm referring also to the family, help to be more effective in the things that are important in that moment.
If there's something what really bothers you in your new work situation, what you really don't like?
Honestly say no. I don't
Sounds
have.
Good.
I think that this hybrid model that was introduced by Metro Italy is really efficient because it combines to have the period and the days in the office. So for all the activity that are relating to socialization, to collaboration, to generating new things for which the presence is important, and then allowed also a better or a more easy management of personal and family life.
Yeah, okay, that sounds great. And now we know how you experience your personal new way of working. And according to that, maybe you brought us your sound souvenir. We will get to that later towards the end of the podcast. But first, Samantha, I'd like to continue our tour through the Metro Village with you. Such a profound and diverse transformation of the working environment means that the culture of a company almost necessarily changes as well. What goals have you set yourselves in terms of changing your corporate culture?
We have set a different objective for ourselves for the change of corporate culture. One of them was to integrate this new hybrid model as a normal ways of working. And this means to support people in giving them all the tools, training that they need to use in this new model. And so we set up a program of training to facilitate this. Another purpose is and was to facilitate the integration with the function. And for this, it was created this group of ambassadors that I was talking before. The representative of each function with the intention of facilitate the collaboration of between function. So we are still in the progress of this, and of course Metro Village is a journey that has started this summer, but it will continue. And also in terms of change of corporate culture, we are still working on it, and we are constantly monitoring.
And if there's something where you said we have already achieved something, where do you see the first successes?
I would say that people are happy of the new office and of the new ways of working. For sure, we have a room of improvement. For example, they are starting planning the presence in the office and from home. And according to the feedback that we are receiving from the ambassador, we are fine-tuning some technical stuff and so on. But I have to say that generally the satisfaction is good.
Yeah. Are there certain proof points, for example, from Voice It or something else?
We will measure now in the Voice It that we will receive soon the results. We have a plan to make some survey about the satisfaction of, in general, the Metro Village or some specific new service that we have implemented.
One goal of the Metro Village is also to improve the cooperation between employees in the store and in the administration. What has already changed in this regard?
First of all, it has changed that we are maybe meeting more with the store people in the canteen or in some rest area that are shared with them. And then I have to say that as a starting point, we are seeing sometimes that store manager of San Donato or other management colleague, if they have to meet our colleague in the headquarters, instead of a team meeting, they are jumping up and just meet physically. For sure, as I say, Metro Village is a journey. We have started this journey in July, and we will improve also the collaboration with the store, also now that we are in a more normal way of doing.
Yeah, sure. You've already mentioned that Metro Village is only half populated at the moment. Your hygiene rules also require that only some of the employees are allowed to work in the office. Can you already give an idea of what will be the next steps with Metro Village?
So for sure, the next step of Metro Village will to continue this journey. For example, we have defined and we have planned some training for manager in the new ways of working at the beginning of next year, and especially in the new ways of working in the use of the tool that are needed for the collaboration, such as all the tool of Office 365, and also especially for managers and off, we will have dedicated training to support them in better guide team working in part in presence, in part virtually.
Okay, so sounds really interesting. And with that, dear Metro Heroes, we are now leaving Metro Village. But Samantha, you brought us something very special, very interesting from there. Your sound souvenir, really looking forward to it. And now I'm curious, Samantha, let us hear, what sound did you bring?
Ciao mamma. Ciao mamma.
Okay, maybe these are your kids?
Yes, you guess absolutely. I would have also the possibility to record some classical music, because when I work from home and I have no meeting, I like to work with some classical
Yeah.
music. But for me, the best sound, it's really the voice of my kids when they come back to after school in the afternoon. And that's a possibility that this hybrid model allow me to hear when I'm working from home.
Yeah, and how do you feel about this situation when the kids are coming home and you see them more often than you do it before?
I feel happy, honestly speaking. I have to say that they also we learn each other. They also learn that okay, they are at home, but mommy is working, and so it's time for mommy to work. They are really respecting also this. But of course, it's the best sound for me to
Yeah.
hear when they enter and they just say to me to say hello.
Yeah. Also for me as well. So the sound of my kids are the best sound in the world. Thank you very much, Samantha, for this great sound. And thank you for the lovely tour and interesting insights into your village at Metro Italy. I send you best regards from my colleagues in Düsseldorf to Milan. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Berd. Thank you so much.
And dear Metro Heroes, thanks also to you for listening. I hope you had some fun. More podcasts will be back with another interesting topic on the new ways of working. We are not yet finished with the stories on this. You can find all previous podcast episodes on the More page on United and on all major podcast platforms. Follow us there. And please recommend more podcasts to your friends and colleagues. Leave a like or comment. Above all, stay safe. Bye bye and take care.